Oh, let me put my phone. Okay, it is perfect.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and all of the days. Greetings, all in one. Welcome again to a special edition of the Final Boss Podcast. Doing a series with the wealth strategist who's on right now. You see her. And tonight we're going over taxes and retirement. It's going to be a lot of information. So I don't have any announcements. We're going to get right into it because the wealth strategist has a lot to say. And I'm going to give her the floor and
Sure
the
did.
platform, and it's all hers.
All right, y'all. So I'm Cynthia Chinconce, and today this episode is for you if you despise paying taxes on your wealth and retirement, and or you're currently funding putting money away into a qualified retirement account. Now, I'm going to
Wait,
give you guys a quick
well, hold on. You know what we didn't
disclaimer.
do? The
I'm about
disclaimer.
to do it. I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it
Oh,
right now.
go ahead,
Y'all
go ahead,
ready?
go ahead.
All right. So, disclaimer, okay? This content is not intended for tax or investment advice. We are not tax advisors, and this is meant for educational and entertainment purposes only. Cool?
Boom.
You ready? All right, boom. All right. So, now, all right, now get your notebooks together because I'm going to drop a lot of nuggets, okay? But before I get started, okay, I want to tell you a little bit about my company, Chinconce Financial. We're a wealth and legacy planning consultancy company. Okay, our mission is to help the average American learn the wealth rules so that you can play them smarter and in a more strategic fashion. We specialize in building, protecting, and transferring wealth with the least tax liability and risk possible. Strategy is what makes us unique. Cool? All right.
Awesome.
All right. Now, what I'm going to be going over today is probably going to upset you. And you know what? I hope it does.
Y'all listen to this.
I hope it does. You know why?
Disclaimer.
Because as human beings, and I can attest to this myself, we don't change unless one or two things. Either the pain is so great that we're forced to change, or we're out seeking pleasure. Who here can relate to that?
I can relate. Pleasure seeker. Sorry. Full disclaimer. Honesty,
I'm a little bit of
authenticity.
both,
That's me.
right? And so this is going, so whether you are the type of person who wants to avoid pain or you are seeking pleasure, what I'm going to go over today is going to resonate and help you. Okay. Now, here's the thing, acquiring knowledge, like today, you guys are here and you've been here because you're trying to learn, you're trying to acquire knowledge. Okay. But knowledge is only one step on the path to financial independence.
Absolutely.
Who would agree with me that taking action on the knowledge is what's going to actually be required for you to make those changes and attain financial freedom and independence?
Absolutely. Taking what you learned and put it into action.
That's right,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
All right. And I want that for you. And I hope that you want it for yourself as well. Okay. Now, so if you find yourself pissed off or feeling like you've been misled, good. It's good. Um, and it's better that you know that now so that you can make the necessary changes. Does that make sense, guys?
That absolutely makes sense.
You know,
Absolutely.
and if you relate to any of this, you know, engage with us. Drop a couple comments in the thread. We love that. We love that. Now, I'm going to start off with a story, okay, from a client named Carlos. Carlos is a family man who came to America, like myself and my family, from another country, seeking the American dream and to have, better opportunities for our children. Okay, have a better quality of life. So Carlos, he worked labor jobs all his life here in America, and he was really disciplined with saving for his retirement in his company. And like everybody does, we file our income taxes when we go to work with an accountant, right? To do our taxes every year. And a lot of you may be in the same exact situation and can relate to this. But how many of you have been advised by your tax guy or gal to contribute as much as possible to your company 401k and open up a traditional IRA so that you can pay the least income taxes possible today? How many? It probably resonates.
I'm sure
right?
there are quite a few people. That story,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
And why is that? Because that's like the status quo. Like that's the thing. That is their job. Okay. How many of you have a CPA or accountant that's advised you this way? Probably almost every one of you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Give or take maybe 10%, right? Because that's what their job. And it sounds good, right? Pay the least taxes possible today and enjoy more money today. Well, maybe. It all depends. Okay? And millions of Americans, when they receive their refund, and him in particular, he thought, oh my God, this is so great. I'm getting all this money back. He was excited up until about 11 months before he was ready to retire. And he thought he made it. Why? Because he had accumulated roughly $1.3 million in his qualified retirement accounts. Right. And he thought, oh my God, I've made $1 million. I have like over $1 million. Great. I can retire. He was already thinking and daydreaming about all the different things that he was going to do with this money, spend this money on enjoying his retirement with his family, with his grandchildren, traveling to different places around the world, until we met to go over his retirement accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually met him when I was in a restaurant. And back then I used to talk to everybody about what I did. And he was like, no, I'm good. I was like, okay, let me get your number anyway. I can send you some free content. And he finally actually made an appointment to meet with me. And I'm so glad he did. And he's so glad he did. Because what I'm about to share with you is going to shock you. And it's going to piss you off. But I want you to feel secure in knowing that you are here today for a reason, to learn this information so that you can make adjustments as fast as possible, so that you can avoid the pain that he went through and that millions of Americans will be facing or have already faced when it comes to their retirement and paying taxes.
All right.
Cool?
Let's get into it. All right. Let's get into it.
All right. Now, here's the thing. You guys see this back here? Tax deductible contribution. You guys see that? Okay, great. Awesome. Now, what he was doing, see, when it comes to qualified retirement accounts, you have the option to contribute to your company retirement account. Okay. Now, do you guys see me over here? No, you don't. I need to come over here. All right. So you're going to contribute. Okay. If you have a 401k, let's just say you're maxing it out at 20,000. Okay. I think the number now has gone up to like 22,500, but let's just use 20,000, right? And if you're earning $100,000 a year as your income. And so your accountant, CPA, says, hey, go ahead and max it out and contribute to 20,000. That way you can pay taxes on only 80K of your income. Sounds good, right? Here's the problem, okay? And what people don't understand about tax deductible contribution qualified retirement accounts, okay? And a lot of times it's because you're seeking the immediate gratification,
Right.
not knowing and not thinking about your 65, 66, 70-year-old self. Okay. So I want you to take this information and think about that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can understand how this works. And then you'll have more knowledge so that we can strategize the best strategy for you to implement when it comes to your retirement and paying least taxes possible, right? All you're doing here is you're delaying, postponing your taxes.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
For when? For a later date in the future.
Mm-hmm.
10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, from the time that you're going to retire. Okay? And so what does that mean? That means that now today, when you're ready to retire, right? That $1.3 million that Carlos had accumulated, you think that's all his money?
Oh no, Uncle Sugar's coming to get his.
Right. Uncle Sam's going to get his cut because all you did
Absolutely.
was delay the tax to a future time period.
Mhm.
What's that time period? When you're ready to get distributions. That means you're ready to start using your retirement funds in retirement. Okay. Now, here's a question that I want you to ask yourself. Okay. Do you think, because if you're following this strategy, you're just postponing and delaying the tax to the future date, which could be 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now, depending on how old you are today, right? Do you think taxes will be higher or lower by the time you get to retirement age?
Oh, teacher, let me answer that one. That's an easy one.
Okay, what is it, Dwight?
It's going to be higher, of course.
But why? Do you really think it would be higher? What factors do you think would contribute to making the tax higher?
It's a multitude of factors, different
Okay.
variables that include the state of the world, state of the economy, inflation.
Right.
We're in peacetime or wartime. Those are different factors as well.
Mhm.
So I definitely am going with the taxes are going to be much higher.
Okay. And if you think there'll be less, I mean, then you're fine. You can
Right.
continue down this path because for you, taxes will be less. So you don't have to worry about giving that much money up to Uncle Sam,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
But something I want you guys to think about is we just crossed $35 trillion in debt. Did you know that?
Woo! I didn't mention that. Hey.
That just happened when we just crossed that, what, a week ago, a couple days ago.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
And let me ask you this: you think the government is financially responsible with money?
Let's not have that conversation. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Okay, sorry, but these are things that actually are factored into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
Paying
want you guys to
for
think about it.
a toilet for $3,000, 3,000 or something. It was something crazy for some information that came out in the Washington Post a few years ago about how much the Pentagon was paying for toilets and things of that nature. It was astronomical.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Mm.
Now think about since 2020 till today, 2024, how much money the U.S. government has printed, right? And we are to get us to $35 trillion in debt.
Mm.
Here's something that I want you guys to think about. Okay. One was if you think taxes will be higher or lower. But one of the things about taxes being potentially higher is the debt that we have today. What would need to happen for the debt to be paid down? And I personally believe that it's very likely that one of the strategies could be the government looks at, okay, where is the wealth right now in America?
Mm.
And what was it that BlackRock has how much billions dollars in qualified retirement accounts? What is that? Where are they at now? About 10 million?
So-
$10 billion
Mm.
in assets under management and retirement accounts?
Oh, you talking about BlackRock?
Yeah.
I thought it was 10 trillion. Don't quote me on that, but
Don't quote
it's
me either, but it's some crazy,
something
ridiculous
crazy.
number.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and this is I'm bringing this up to have you start thinking about this. Okay, so don't get too granular on the actual the number itself, but
Right.
it's up there,
It's up there.
right?
Information is Googleable. Go check Google. But it's up
Right,
there. It's up there.
right.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of wealth that they have,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just one of the big three.
Yeah.
We still have Vanguard, State
Vanguard.
Street,
Yeah.
Fidelity,
Mm-hmm.
Prudential,
The
right?
big
And we're
four.
just talking about wealth in qualified retirement accounts. I'm not even talking about other. I'm not talking about crypto. I'm not even talking about all of that, right?
Mhm.
And so, one thing that I think could be likely is the government looks at it and says, "Well, there's a lot of wealth here. Let's increase the taxes on the retirement accounts." Currently, right now, when you get to retirement, if you're in this strategy, did you know you have to pay federal and state taxes on your accumulated retirement funds? So in Maryland, the state tax for qualified retirement accounts is roughly 7.79%. And then on the federal level, it's like 22%.
Mhm.
So add that up. That's about what, 30%,
About
31%.
30%. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
30%.
So how is it going to feel you following this status quo over here, get to 65 years old and realize you have to give up 30% of your money to the IRS before you even see a penny?
Right.
Are you pissed off now?
Oh, they better be.
I'm not you, but I'm pissed off for you.
Absolutely. So tell us how we can benefit from your formulas and the things that you're offering with the different programs that you have under your company.
Okay, great. So I'm going to get into this. So and here's the thing. Everybody who's watching here, I don't know what your income is, how old you are, how many years you have till retirement, what tax deductions you may or may not have by the time you get to retirement age, right? I don't know what other assets that you may be thinking about using as a retirement income source. So once we get together and review all of that, then it may be that, hey, you can get some free money in your company tax 401k. It may be okay to still do it. It may not be a bad thing, right? But I want you to just to understand how the taxes work so that you understand that this over here exists. Okay, that you can take advantage of tax exempt strategy. Who wants to have a tax exempt strategy?
I do.
Right? I have a
Yeah,
tax exempt
absolutely.
strategy.
Let's go.
Why? Because I believe that taxes will be higher in the future. And so I'm okay with not taking the tax deduction on my income taxes today so that I can enjoy all of my millions of retirement when I get to 65 plus. I don't have to worry. And if you're in this strategy, you won't have to worry about paying any taxes from your retirement account if you work with us under this strategy. So whatever Congress decides to do, because they do create the legislation to make changes to the tax code, you won't have to be at the whim of whatever changes they decide to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely makes sense.
So we're going to defer. Instead of doing this pair, what we typically do is this pair. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes we will still have you take some deductions from this strategy, depending on how much income you make, right? And if you're a W-2 versus if you have an LLC or a business, it's all about strategy, right? But if you want to absolutely pay zero taxes in the future, this is the way to go. And this is what we specialize in, because guess what? We don't just help you to get help you set up plans to get you to retirement. We want to make sure that you stay retired. And that is going to be where that longevity of your strategy is going to come into play, which we will talk about tomorrow.
That's gold.
Let's go.
Liquid gold. Liquid gold. Oh man, great show. Were you finished with your point? I think
I am for now.
You are for now, so we're gonna finish up tomorrow.
I'm finished with the points when we're talking about taxes for now, because obviously, there's a lot more details when it comes to this, right? But we can't knock it all out right now. So
well, you know what? Give the people your information. Tell them, let's make sure we drop the links. They can consult with you. You're doing a free consultation. Let them know about that stuff. And we'll close out and we'll be at it again tomorrow.
Right. Now, listen, guys, I'm offering a 20-minute no-cost phone consultation. What that's going to do, it's going to give us an opportunity for you to get to know me a little bit better, and for me to get to know you a bit better based on your current concerns, what kind of plans you have in place right now, what your goals are, and to determine if working with us would even make sense. And I think that's fair to be able to have that 20 minutes that you don't have to pay for, like my company pays for that 20 minutes, so that you guys have an opportunity to, feel me out and see if we're a good fit to work together. And then from there, based on what we discover on the call, then I would be able to send you, give you recommendations on what kind of appointment would be best for you in your particular situation.
Awesome. Tune in tomorrow.
Awesome.
Now, tomorrow, let me just tell you guys tomorrow. So tomorrow, we're going to chat about access to your funds in these different accounts, because it's not just the market volatility that we talked about yesterday. It's not just taxes that you will be responsible for paying, but it's also going to be access to your funds and how much control do you actually have? Because a lot of you probably watching this are under 59 and a half years old. And, I have clients that during COVID, with our strategy, they fell on some hard times and they were able to utilize their funds without having to explain a hardship, show receipts, or have any penalties for the early withdrawals. Why?
Nice. Very nice.
And that's because where their money is.
Nice.
Remember yesterday I said that where your money is a big deal. Right? It's a big deal from potential losses. It's a big deal from fees. It's a big deal when it comes to taxes that you're going to pay. It's a big deal on how much control and access you have with your money. And it's a big deal for how long is this money actually going to last you? Are you going to be able to stay retired, or or can you only make it to 71 years old and then you ran out of funds?
That's the key. So tune in tomorrow. We're bringing back the Wealth Strategist to continue this conversation in our series, Financial Wealth Health. Stay tuned. I'm your boy, Turbo the CEO, brought to you by Trinity Entertainment, our Trinity Music Group. I am the final boss. Thank you for tuning in, and see y'all tomorrow, same time, same channel. Bye-bye.
Bye.